Teslas are known for many things these days. A really awesome design, great efficiency, insane power, tons of tech, and also some controversy with three dirty controversial letters, FSD. Tesla proudly advertises their full self-driving capability here for $8,000, and the big question I get all the time from friends, family members, random viewers on my channel is, what really do you get for the FSD package, and is it worth it spending $8,000 in 2024? So in this video, I spent the money so you don't have to. I'm going to walk through all of the features of full self-driving, talk about what you get beyond just the full self-driving stuff, some extra hidden features you may get, what's really the difference between autopilot and full self-driving, and also some upcoming features that might just make it worth it, and also some big reasons why you shouldn't waste your money on this. Let me just sort of give you an unbiased look at full self-driving, what you get and if it's worth it or not, and also tell you it's definitely worth it, and that is this video's sponsor, Incogni, but a bit more on them in just a moment. Alright, so let me just say right off the bat that I have got no agenda with this video. I am not one of those full self-driving superstars that does all the little point-by-point updates and all the driving. I'm not a basher. I don't think the system's, unsafe or harmful. I'm sort of just impartial. I've tried the technology. It is very cool to see in action. I think it's amazing, but what I'm not so convinced on is the price to value ratio. Like, the features are cool, but are they worth $12,000, $10,000, now $8,000? Is it really worth it? Because there are some major caveats you need to be aware of, and also some ways that you can totally get all this for free too that you should know about because it's worth it for free. So when you go to order your Tesla and you scroll down on the page, these are the full self-driving features that Tesla is currently advertising, for better or worse, even though some of these don't exactly work right now. There's Navigate on Autopilot, Auto Lane Change, AutoPark, Summon, Smart Summon, Auto Steer on city streets, and Traffic Light and Stop Sign Control. So I thought in this video I would test every single one of these features and show you exactly what it does. But first, right off the bat, just two really quick things you should know, credit where credit's due. One is that everyone who takes delivery of a new Tesla gets 30 days for free, at least here in the United States or the North American region. So that's super cool that you're able to sort of get the features and try it for free and cost you nothing just to try it out. And also, credit to Tesla here is that with full self-driving, there is no additional hardware required. So if you decide you don't want it, and then 2 years later you decide you do want to have it, you can literally tap a button on your car or on the website or in the app and then just automatically get the features just like that. You don't have to step foot into a Tesla service center. You don't have to get on the phone with anybody. The hardware is all built into the car. There are some differences between hardware 3 and hardware 4 and newer and older cars, but broadly, generally speaking here, all Teslas have full self-driving capabilities, and the car you bought back in 2020 can still full self-drive just as well, and you can get all the features without having to touch a single thing on your car. Nothing extra required, which is nice. So the first couple of features here sort of go hand in hand and also don't really make sense in 2024, and that is Navigate on Autopilot and Auto Lane Change. Basically, those go together, and as the name suggests, instead of basic autopilot that's just sort of keeping you in your lane and doing your steering and your braking and acceleration for you, Navigate on Autopilot would sort of make lane changes as needed to sort of keep you going to your destination and also know which exits to take and stuff like that in order to get you to where you needed to go. This still exists and is a thing, but now that we've got full self-driving supervised, which I'll show you in a minute, that sort of is end-to-end Navigate on Autopilot and Auto Lane Change. Those two features were touted as being amazing for freeways, but now full self-driving can sort of drive your vehicle anywhere. So these two features in particular don't really make a lot of sense anymore, and they shouldn't be advertised because full self-driving sort of does all this. Now, technically, I can jump in here to my car settings, I can go to autopilot, and I can go back to auto steer, which is basically this autopilot, and I can turn off the full self-driving supervised, and I should hopefully still retain the auto lane change functionality. So I'm going to try to get out on the highway and show you how this works. And also just, it really doesn't make any sense to use this in not full self-driving because basically the system is using full self-driving. So these two features, while they're advertised and they technically exist, they really shouldn't be anymore. Another issue I have maybe isn't so much a problem specifically with Tesla, but really just the auto industry in general, is that anytime you give them any sort of your personal info, you get bombarded with spam calls and texts and emails, and also your personal info just happens to start floating around online. And I'm sure I'm not alone when I say, I don't want that happening. But you and I don't have to worry anymore because Incogni is here to help. Incogni is going to get in contact with those data brokers on your behalf and sort of put an end to any of your personal info being shared online, and also make sure it's deleted if it is found online. These are those random people search websites. It's recruitment brokers, data brokers, marketing brokers. If your info is floating around online, Incogni is going to put that to an end and get it off of there. Remember, this is beyond just sort of your phone number. This could be your email address, your social security number, your address, credit card numbers, and also not just sort of you, but somehow these websites and services have a way to link you to other relatives and family members, so you're all sort of exposed and have your info online, which again just is not good. Luckily, Incogni makes the process super simple to get started. Basically, you just create an account, you tell them what info you want removed, and then they get to work contacting the data brokers, the bad actors, getting your info removed. And also what I love here is that this isn't like a one-time thing, because these people are shifty and shady and these companies are always popping up and going down. So Incogni is always on the hunt, doing this on a regular basis to get your information tracked down and removed online, totally without you having to think about it or do anything. Incogni is going to do the hard work for you. So if you do want to be able to shop for auto loans or look at refinance options or just live your life and not be worried about your info randomly just floating around online, definitely check out Incogni and get started with the experts today. If you want to learn more, check it out for yourself and get a discount, hit the link down below or head to incogni.com/Robert and use my code Robert to get 60% off an annual plan. Again, link down below, incogni.com/Robert, and use code Robert to get 60% off an annual plan. All right, so I'm now going to go ahead and initiate the lane change. And the car is I get a little graphic there. It's going to show me where it's going to change, and it's going to do its lane change just like that. Again, absolutely nothing wrong with this feature. It's cool to see. But now with full self-driving, I feel like most people would just, put their destination in, turn on full self-driving, and let it do its whole thing, not only use that feature on highways, because that's how this was originally designed. Okay, so next, let's talk AutoPark. This is a particularly interesting feature because for a while, this feature was gone. When Tesla did their whole switch to the vision system, there was no AutoPark, but just a couple of months ago, Tesla brought this feature back, and I should say it's kind of better than it's ever been before. AutoPark continues to get better with new software updates. It is a really cool system, and instead of me just sort of sitting here and explaining it, let me show you how it works. I'm going to do two examples here, one in a completely empty lot, so I have a little bit more time to explain how things work, and then I'll do one at like a normal grocery store and show you what the AutoPark system is like to use. So essentially all I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into Drive, and what the system is going to do is automatically find open parking spaces when I'm in a parking lot. So you can see here on the screen above the yoke all of the different parking spaces it sees. Now on a Model 3 or Model Y, and even I guess eventually Cybertruck, you can just tap on the main screen here and do your thing. But on the Model S and Model X is a little bit different. I have to select the spot I want and then use the scroll wheel on the right side. So as you can see here, see how it just turned blue? So I can go ahead and select either of these spots. I guess what's weird here is I can't jump. Okay, so if I just keep scrolling, it'll jump to either side. So I have the ability to scroll here and find a spot. And then once it finds the spot that I want, or I select the spot, I'm going to tap on the button there. What that's going to do now is initiate AutoPark, and it's always going to back into the spot. So it's never going to just pull forward for whatever reason. It's going to always back up. But now the car is going to automatically do its thing. It's going to park itself. And as you can see, it does all of the braking, all the acceleration, all the turning for me just like this. Obviously, I'm in still full control, responsible here. I can see what's going on, and I can also tap the brake at any time to make sure the system is going to work right. But if all goes according to plan, things should work like that. parking brake is engaged, the car goes into park, and I am done. Just to show you that one more time while I'm sitting here, I'm going to go ahead and just, go over to a spot. Let's say I want to pick a spot over here. Again, all of the parking spaces will sort of automatically pop up. Let's say I want to do this one right at the end. Going to hit the button again, and then the car is going to do its thing. In some previous iterations of this, it was a little slow. The system didn't do super well, but it is doing much better these days. Though I will say, like in a in a crowded parking space. Whoa, wow, it's okay. So obviously, okay, so here's a good example of where the system needs work. It thinks that this is a spot. I get it. It's a little confusing because you'll see right in front of me, there is a spot there. There's like a little berm and a little planter area here. This is technically not a spot because I don't have anything on the side. Actually, what I'll do is I'll flip around so we can see here. Yeah, that's not a spot. You see sort of where the area is crossed out back there. I mean, I guess if it was really like a full day in the parking lot, maybe, but that's not a spot. So suffice it to say, you should always sort of be aware of your surroundings. You should know what's a spot and what's not because the car is not always going to get it right. But with that said, let me go to like an actual parking lot and show you how this works with other cars and other people around you. All right, so let's have a little bit of a better test here. Not the most crowded environment, but it is Sunday afternoon. People should be out and about. And let's try a test here. Here's an interesting one between these two cars. I've got, it should work. I've got a larger white truck there, a smaller sort of silver compact car there. I'm going to use my scroll wheel here to select this spot, and then I'm going to let the Tesla do its thing. And again, all things considered, the car does a pretty good job. It's going to sort of depend on, okay, so you can see there's someone's waiting behind me. It's going to depend on how helpful or unhelpful people are around you, but as you can see, this guy's going to get a little frustrated because this is taking forever. Sometimes the car is just a little too, I don't know if it's cautious. I'm not sure if it's just figuring out its surroundings, but as you can see there, wow, it's turning close to that truck. This person isn't particularly happy. Oh my goodness. Okay, so, I mean, maybe a little close for comfort for me. Like I probably wouldn't have gone that far over, but I will say, all that said, the car is obviously looking at the cameras. It's got presumably a good vantage point and is able to see all around. So it did a good job. The only critique I have that I think you're going to sort of run into with, more crowded shopping centers is it is a little slow. I think that generally speaking, you're probably able to more quickly park the vehicle than the Tesla itself can park itself. But it's sort of a cool feature to have, and that's how it works. Now, the next feature included in the full self-driving package is called Summon. Now, Summon is a very interesting feature because it basically lets you turn your Tesla into a remote control car, giving you the ability to control your Tesla from your phone and have it go forwards and backwards. The problem, though, is that it's a little dicey, for one, and also it doesn't work on newer Teslas that lack the ultrasonic sensor. So Summon really doesn't work these days, though I happen to have an ultrasonic equipped Tesla back there. That little black speck back there, that's my Model 3. And the reason I'm in an empty parking lot is because it gets a little dicey and a little crazy, but because I've got a Tesla that supports this and because I've got full self-driving on that vehicle, I've got the capability. So let me show you how this works. And I've got to hold this down and it's going to straighten out, and oh wow, the car is moving. It's going so slow. I feel like this used to go faster. All right, so now I've actually, you can see here in the app, I have it going to the target, and the car is going to drive itself, and hopefully it's not going to hit me. Think it's being a little overly cautious. Oh boy. So, and obviously I have to press and hold down. I got the app right here. I'm holding down because it obviously needs me to be aware. Okay, let me follow the car here with the camera. Wow, this is incredibly fascinating to see. So again, I'm holding down on the app. The car is trying to go to its target. And you can see why I chose to, what in the world? I had a release. You can see why I did this in an empty parking lot. Let me just go here and get an angle and make sure it's not gonna go crazy. All right, so I just moved just to get a really good, oh, so now it's actually gonna back up, or what's it gonna do? Okay, here it goes. All right, I'm having a go. Oh, there it goes. Oh, that is, I mean, it's a really cool party trick. Like, it's like full self-driving, but obviously without anybody in there. And again, it just is telling me, oh, there it goes. Whoa! Granted, this seems so dumb, but, oh, don't hit that curb. Where are you going? Oh, it's trying to back up. Okay, it's just gonna cut across the parking lot. Oh boy. All right, I gotta move the camera in real time because once I stop this, it seems to stop. There it goes. There it goes. Oh, it's backing up. What is it doing? What is it doing? There it goes. There it goes. Oh, it's gonna go all the way around. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. There it goes. It's driving. It's going. Wow. Oh, it's gonna come to me right here. Here we go. Oh, I guess that's where the waypoint target is. Oh, what is it doing? Oh, there it goes. It's done. Okay, so obviously, as you can see, totally a party trick. Way less useful than you may think. I think one of the big reasons why Tesla really didn't develop this for the newer cars is because there were so many videos of this that it was cool, but it was so sketchy. Like I'm in an empty parking lot and people still, I think, had accidents with this because I don't think it's using the full-on, like, obviously, the new full self-driving technology. It's using like ultrasonic sensors and maybe some lower level AP stuff, but wow. So that is Summon. Again, not on newer Teslas. It's cool, but it's not really trustworthy, which I think is, again, why people don't really use it, but it is there. And yeah, if you've got an older Tesla with ultrasonic sensors, that is how Summon works. So Smart Summon is supposed to be way better. Smart Summon was sort of a step above that, a smarter version of Summon, which would allow your vehicle to come to you. So the idea was that you could walk out of the grocery store, you could hit a button on your phone, and then your car would drive out of the parking spot and then come and find you and pick you up. The idea of it was great, but in practice, there are countless videos on YouTube that show you the result, which was sort of a chaotic mess. It was a cool party trick and was super cool to actually see sort of in an empty lot, but when you actually tried to use this like in the real world, it got super sketchy super fast. Now, Elon says, and has said for a couple of months now, that Tesla is working on a new version of this called actually Smart Summon, and it should be launching soon and actually not only be able to pick you up, but also the reverse could happen. So you could drive your car to the front of the store, you could hop out and you could say, hey, go park itself, and the car would actually go and park itself. But we haven't seen that just yet. So this is a promised feature here. It's in development, but not here as a filming, and advertised as a feature, but not something you could take advantage of. And this, folks, is the big one. Next, let's talk about full self-driving. Now, it was called full self-driving beta. Now it is referred to as full self-driving supervised. Basically, this is the ability for the car to drive itself to your destination. Now, I should mention there are a lot of different variations depending on the version you're on, just to sort of keep things as sort of detailed as possible. I am currently on full self-driving version 12.3.6, and if you jump in here to the full self-driving settings under autopilot, there's a bunch of different things you can sort of change based off your comfort. So you've got to actually turn on full self-driving supervised, and then you can obviously do a chill mode, average mode, assertive. You've got lane change notifications. You can minimize lane change on your current drive, automatic speed offset, and stuff like this. I'm just going to keep things sort of standard here, let the car do its thing, and then engaging with this is as simple as putting in a destination. So in this case, I'm going to go to Giant, which is a local supermarket. So I'm just going to say, navigate to Giant. It's going to pop it up. I'm going to tap this, and then I'm going to start full self-driving supervised. And what's actually cool here is that I can start this even in a parking lot. I don't have to actually be on a road like other iterations. So starting it is as simple as this. There we go. Press the button and then it's going to do its thing. And I'll kind of show you how it works here. I'm not going to, bore you with the details here, but I'm in just, the empty parking lot where I did the parking test here. And it's actually going to take me so this is a very weird way. I don't know why I just wouldn't go right. Oh, now it is. So you can see sort of the map updating in real time there. But what this system is going to do is just drive you to where you want to go. And obviously, I should say the caveats here, you've got to be obviously supervising the ride. That's why it's called full self-driving supervised. You've got to have sort of your hands and feet ready to take over at any time. There are some new versions launching soon that will allow you to not have any sort of steering wheel nag. It's going to use the internal cabin camera that's right up here, but it doesn't currently work with sunglasses, so that kind of defeats the purpose for this anyways. But that's how the system is going to work. And I should say, as someone who has tested many iterations of this, it has gotten better and better and better. It's certainly not going to be perfect. It's not always going to do the right thing, but the vast majority of the time, it does a good job. And I think for me, I'm not someone who is going to sort of use this every single day. But I do think in instances, I had a couple of times where I had to make about an hour or so drive to the airport at like 3 a.m. In that case, it was sort of nice to let the car do more of its thing. And I guess just sort of, around town, if you just want to take a little bit of the fatigue off of driving, it does do a very good job. And as you can see here, I've got my map on here so I can see what's going on. I've got my visualizations here with the Model S and Model X. Unfortunately, it's up here in a bit of a smaller area here. But the car is going to do everything. It's going to brake, it's going to accelerate, it's going to steer, it is going to do everything using all of the various cameras around the vehicle. It's not always perfect. Let me preface it by saying that. This is not something where you can sort of sleep and fall back. That's not how the system works. You've got to be paying attention. But if you do want the vehicle to drive for you, it is going to do that, and it does a very good job. It's gotten better on unpaved roads. Maybe I'll show you a bit of a dirt road and how it does on that in a moment here. But as you can see, it is doing things for me. This is the most complicated drive in the world, but as you can see, it is, doing everything. It's going to respond to green lights. It's going to make a turn here. We'll have a left turn coming up real quickly. You can see how it does with turns. There's some debate on how well it does with, unprotected turns and stuff like that and U-turns, but it is getting better. Credit to where credit is due for Tesla's engineering team. This is a marvelous feat of engineering and software wizardry. And I do think that if you do a lot of driving, here's an interesting left turn here. If you do a lot of driving and you want to do less of your own driving, this is pretty cool. And it is pretty cool to see that we've gotten to the point where the car can sort of drive itself. So we're just going to wait for this car to pass. There we go. Beautiful, nice open lane. And it's going to make that turn and bring us down to where we want to go. And we can actually finish the trifecta here by parking ourselves. Now there's some bicyclists here and pedestrians, so the car's got to be a little careful and aware. Probably going a little bit faster than I would down a little side street. You can see it's going to sort of look around, sees the people on the bike. All right, it's going to come over here. And then when you sort of get to your destination, it sort of just drops you off. Doesn't really do anything, so it'll probably just kick me out in a moment here. So it's going to stop, sees the people, and yeah, it's going to go. Where is it going? There's a guy on the road there. Let's see how it does. It's going to see him. It's going to... Okay, so I'm going to have to give it a little gas. Okay, I'm just going to take over here. And yeah, so when you get to your destination, you kind of have to figure out how you're going to park yourself. But it will get you there, and obviously pay attention to pedestrians and people around you. This last one is a little weird. This is traffic light and stop sign control, which Tesla says on their website was designed to slow down and stop for visible traffic lights or stop signs that are detected when traffic aware's cruise control or auto steer is engaged. So basically, this is like autopilot, but the car could stop and start itself based off of stop signs and traffic lights. But I should mention that now that we've got full self-driving supervised, that sort of meets that requirement and then some. So this feature really doesn't make a lot of sense in 2024. And honestly, that's how I feel about full self-driving personally, is that some of this stuff just doesn't make sense. Now, don't get me wrong, the full self-driving capability, that is super, super cool, but I feel like all the other features there really shouldn't be in this package. What I believe Tesla should do, and I maybe call me controversial, but I think this makes a lot of sense, is they should take all the other features, so navigate on autopilot, auto lane change, maybe even some version of summon, AutoPark, all that stuff, and bring that down as a base feature set for the vehicle. So your Tesla just wouldn't have autopilot for free, but all those other features as well, because I feel like, in my opinion, the vast majority of people who are buying full self-driving are buying it for the real full self-driving supervised thing, the thing that's actually going to drive them around. They're not buying it for AutoPark and navigate on autopilot. Those are fringe benefits, but really not, I believe, the vast majority of the thing that's really driving people to make that purchase. The other thing that just makes zero sense for me when it comes to full self-driving, not only is the $8,000 price is a lot, but the fact that if you spend that money, full self-driving, although it's totally software-based, is tied with the physical vehicle, not with your account. So if I went out, spent $8,000 to get full self-driving on my Model X, and then in an hour from now, accidentally got into an accident and the car was totaled, there goes my $8,000 full self-driving. It's gone, and if I was to get a new Tesla, I'd have to buy it all over again. There's also a lot of arguments and discussions to be had about whether or not that $8,000 is recouped if you were to go to sell the car. So if I spent full self-driving money and got the package and spent $8,000, does that mean my car is immediately worth $8,000 more? Not necessarily. And I've even heard time and time again that Tesla themselves doesn't even give you great value for full self-driving if you're doing a trade-in through them, which should be your best case scenario. But one smart decision Tesla is making here, and again, credit to where credit is due, and really the saving grace of full self-driving, in my opinion, is that they've turned this into a very viable subscription offering. What they realize is that most people don't want to spend $8,000 on this, but they will spend $100 a month, which is exactly what they've done. In recent months, they've cut the price on this, and for $99 a month, this is a very compelling offering because you get all the benefits of full self-driving with also none of the downsides of having to own it. So with the subscription, if you're going to go on a road trip, for example, for like 2 months, you subscribe, your car instantly gets all the features, you enjoy it, you use it, you love it, and when you get back home, you cancel it and you're done. You can resubscribe at any time, you get all the benefits here, and you spent $200 as opposed to $8,000 and stuck with features you're probably not going to use 90% of the time. The other nice thing about the subscription is that it doesn't live with the vehicle. So if you get a new Tesla, you cancel your subscription on one vehicle, resubscribe on the new one, and you're done. I don't see what the long-term play on spending all this money for full self-driving is if you're not going to get any tangible benefits. If Tesla said, hey, if you buy it right now, we're going to make it permanent on your account, any Tesla you get for as long as, you're a Tesla owner, that makes a lot of sense. But to spend $8,000 now and maybe use those features, even if you use them 100% of the time, someone smarter than me can do the math in the comments below and figure out what the break-even point on this is. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I highly, highly, highly encourage everyone to not buy full self-driving, but to subscribe because the subscription gives you all the benefits without any of the risk and also is going to save you a ton of money and just gives you so much more flexibility if you want to use those features. And whether or not this is all worth it to you is sort of relative to what you do in your car. If you do a lot of driving and you don't like the fatigue that comes with having to do stop and go traffic and you want to basically have the autopilot experience on city streets, that alone might be worth it for you. If you want to have your Tesla automatically park itself or just use autopilot with automatic lane change, then that would be worth it for you as well. But if you don't really find those features all that compelling, you're not really sold on AutoPark and stuff like that, then it probably isn't for you. But again, what really saves this here is a subscription because at the very least, you could spend $100 a month for 1 month, try it and say, I hate it, I'm never going to do it again. Fine, you're only at $100. Or you can find out you like it and subscribe and go that route. Of course, Tesla, again, lets you buy it at any time. If you want to go out and buy it for $8,000, you could spend the money whenever you want. Tesla will gladly take your money. But the subscription here makes so much sense. So even if full self-driving isn't for everyone, I think having that option as a very relatively affordable subscription offering makes a ton of sense and hopefully something we see Tesla continue to work on and improve as we move forward and as FSD gets better. So I'm curious, guys, what are your thoughts on this? This is a really simple, well, I guess not so simple, but I just want to know your thoughts down below. I was going to say a simple question to answer, and that is, do you have full self-driving? Did you buy it? Why or why not? Have you subscribed to it? Do you think the value is there? Curious, we can discuss this in the comments down below. So please drop a comment down below and let me know. And also, if you guys want a free chance to win some, Amazon money, 3 simple things you got to do as always: like this video, subscribe, and just drop a comment down below, and pick a couple people and do some free Amazon money giveaways for, just to say thank you for supporting the channel and watching my content. As always, I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for watching this video. I'm Robert Rosenfeld, and I'll see you all in the next one. And also, if you stayed to the very end of the video, I want you to say Project Saturn. If you stayed to the very end, we're talking, I don't know how long this video is, but very, very end, Project Saturn, and you guys will win something special. Thanks.